for the 1-Up Superstar Series. This is round number 7 of 30 in the 2021 season. We are at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the 7th race of the 2021 season, as I just said. Alongside me in the booth today is Duke Ansack, filling in once again. And this track is very high on fuel consumption, very high on top speed. We'll see cars in excess of 200 miles per hour today. What are we going to see? We're going to see a draft race. We're going to see a strategy race. What are we going to see here?
I think it's going to be a good mix of both strategy and drafting, of course. You know, it's a bottom feeders track. We all watched the Nitro National race yesterday, and, you know, it's going to be a lot of drivers trying to stay in the draft, get a good run down the backstretch, similar to the Indianapolis 500 in that matter, where you just need to dive down low and hope it sticks going into the corner to pass people. So we're going to see some interesting racing today, and boy, am I excited.
Looking at the starting lineup, Jared Polansky gets pole position ahead of Stephen Hunter in 5th. That's very critical because Hunter is going to try and do the unthinkable and go for 4 wins in a row. We'll see if he can do it from 5th starting spot. He won his last race from starting 8th, so it's very well possible. In between them, we have Justin Hutchinson, who won this race a year ago in 2nd, Andres Molina 3rd, and Jake McMillan in 4th with his best starting spot of 2021. Looking back at the rest of the top 10, who do you see? What do you see as a trend, or maybe something that can buck a trend today?
Well, you know, it's really hard to bet against that 51 car. I mean, he's an option to win the race, even when he's not part of the racing up front. You know, we see it week in and week out that 51 car is always up front. But Jared Polansky, he wants to defend himself. He's lost twice, 3 times to that 51 car. You know, and he just wants to get up there and get himself a win. So I think the 18 car is going to be tough to beat. The 51 is going to be in contention, of course. And Justin Hutchinson had a great day yesterday in the Nitro National race. So I think that 10 car also is going to be in contention as well.
So with that being said, the cars are lined up on the grid and we're ready to bring you the green flag. This is the 1-Up Superstar Series from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The green flag is next. Stay tuned. As the pace car pulls on the pit road, it leaves us in the hands of Jared Polansky and Justin Hutchinson on row number 1, heading into the restart zone for the first time. The green flag is out, and for the first time at Las Vegas, we are underway.
Yeah, you know, and you want to watch this bottom lane here because the bottom lane is going to get a big jump. Jared Polansky hops to the outside to get a better entry into turn 1. But the bottom lane just coming through this corner, it's a shorter way around. Everybody's full throttle. That's where you want to be. As you can see, Justin Hutchinson already has fallen to almost 4th on this first lap here. So right now we got the 71 car right on the bumper of Jared Polansky.
They're racing to a yellow flag because I saw those caution lights in turn 2, and they've slowed down. They're slowing down already for the pace car to pick them up. And oh goodness, we've had a big crash to start this race. Halleck in the 84 is involved. Ryan Soper in the 23 is involved in this one.
I saw some skid marks at a really nasty angle.
Oh, and JD Martin's having an issue of his own on pit road in turn. And Ben McDonald, Diego Yepes, both the Monster Motorsports 4s were involved in this one. A lot of cars were in this. And it's a very tough break for everybody, especially for the Monster Motorsports team and for JD Martin, because he's had some very rough times. And Henry Brown, he had such a good run forming at Phoenix. He got his first top 10 there, but his race will be over without even completing a single lap here today, as the leaders make their way on the pit road, except for Jared Polansky, who stays on the racetrack. Bobo Jones stayed out with him. I'm going to see if there's anyone else that stayed out. William Brock stayed out. He will come up through the field, and I think one more car stayed out. But as the leaders make their pit stops, we'll find out what happens to Henry Brown, Ryan Soper. Oh my goodness! Yepes trying to come into his pit. I guess just didn't see Blair in the 19. So we'll get to a replay of what happened to all these cars as soon as one is available for us. But we're under caution on lap 1 for a hard crash involving many of the front runners. So you see Henry Brown on the top lane. Oh, it starts way ahead of him. No. It looks like Ben McDonald got spun around, and then they come up on the track. Yepes just collects Soper, and then from there, Henry Brown up against the wall. It just really reminds me of many accidents we see here of cars just running down below the apron and trying to come up at the wrong time.
What?
Oh, here's where the problem starts. Yepes was slow coming to the start, and as he was trying to catch back up, he tagged Ricky Freeman Jr., and as they were trying to come back, they just hooked Ben McDonald in the wrong spot. Freeman looks like he'll be able to escape, but Yepes comes up into Soper, and then
oh my goodness,
the rest of the cars, just both of the Monster Motorsports cars involved in this one. That's a really unfortunate situation for that team, because they were really hoping for a good day. They were.
What a bizarre circumstance we have here is the cars just, there was a huge gap, and then Ricky Freeman Jr. just jumps down there and gets hooked, and then they start to come back up the track, and this is going to be a tough hit to watch. Thank goodness they weren't going very fast, because that angle is not a friendly angle to anybody's body as they hit the wall. So that, really fortunate that they weren't up to speed in this crash. Unfortunate for all of these other people that wrecked coming through turns 1 and 2, though. It's really a strange accident.
So as we're cycling under caution here, 4 cars did not pit. Jared Polanski, who started on pole, he's your leader still. Bobo Jones running second, William Brock running third, and Jerry Cook in fourth. They all did not pit. So, and Jerry Cook's hoping to last longer than he did in the Nitro National Series race after departing of a blown engine. So Cook staying out along with Jones, Brock, and Polanski. They only had, they didn't even have a full racing lap on their tires. So I wonder what the advantage will be to pitting right here and getting some 4 fresh ones.
Well, it's going to be interesting to think. I mean, I can only imagine that they pitted just for a little bit of extra fuel. You know, they were out there. They pitted on lap 3, so they had used about a lap and a half of fuel because of the caution lap, and then there was a little bit of a pace lap before the race. So I don't know. I don't know if tires are going to be an issue, but maybe the fuel will come into play towards the end of this thing. But the track position, I feel like, has to be far more important than a little bit of fuel at this point in the race.
So Jared Polanski out front. We're going to come to the restart this time. JD Martin lines up on the inside line as the only lap down car. 3 cars out of the race. Ryan Soper, JQ Halleck, and Henry Brown. They are all done for the day after just 1 lap. So, and Brown won't even get credited with completing that lap because he came to a stop so quickly. But as we come off of turn 4, we're heading into the restart zone once again, and the green flag is back out. We're underway once again.
And look at that. Jared Polanski's going to be stuck on the outside lane. That 66 car, I don't know what the problem was, but he is up to speed with these leaders. So they're going to be at a big advantage on the bottom lane because Jared Polanski is going to be stuck out there. And here comes the 93 for the lead.
William Brock trying to take the lead for the first time in his career, and he's making a move on the inside of Jared Polanski. How about that for the rookie from the Genesis Engineering team? And William Brock takes the lead of this race on lap number 6. Put the 93 out front.
Yeah, and the 66 car is still out there ahead of these guys. Really looking good in case there's a yellow right now. That car pulling away because the 93 had to check up a little bit in that corner. But we've got the 18 and the 71 just absolutely hounding him right now. The rookie in the lead is feeling the pressure from behind.
And from some of the best, too. Jared Polanski, Andres Molina, Bobo Jones is back there, Jake McMillan, and don't forget about Stephen Hunter back in the 6th position. He really wants to get 4 in a row, and no better place to do it than here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. As William Brock leads as we're circulating lap 8, with JD Martin just hanging on to the tail end of the lead lap, just in front of all of them.
Yeah, this is really fascinating to see. The 93 is maybe going to make a move. Not this time. It's not a terrible... Oh, well, here comes Jared Polanski for the move. Look how close those 2 cars are. My goodness.
What a chop job by William Brock to protect his lead there. That was very, very aggressive. But it works. He keeps the lead for the time being. And this 93 car is going places. He hasn't led all season long, and he's outside the top 30 in owners' points. So any points he can gain here are a huge advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. He's getting points for leading laps here. He wants to lead the most laps. There were a lot of lead changes in yesterday's race here. So we're going to see how this goes for the 93 car. I think that having the 66 just ahead is almost helping a little bit because it's allowing him to stay in the draft and prevent the runs from behind a little bit better. So we'll see. It would be really good to have a buffer car between yourself and second place, but I don't know if that's how it would work out if he were to try to make that pass.
Jake McMillan running 5th, trying to hold off Stephen Hunter in their battle for the final top 5 position as recirculating lap number 11. And we can say Jerry Cook, despite falling back outside the top 10, has made it more laps than he made in the Nitro National race. So good job to him and that Robbers Racing team, as William Brock finally has had enough of running behind J.D. Martin. He wants to get around.
Oh, and Molina just going to sneak low of Jared Polansky while the 66 powers off the outside, and he's going to stay in front of the leaders. He does not want to go another lap down right here.
Technically, he's still on the tail end of the lead lap now, and if he were to fall behind William Brock, he would go 1 down. He's hoping for a yellow desperately so he can get back on the lead lap, because that 66 car has speed in it. It's just really unfortunate timing of that yellow flag.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and that 66 car, you know, I'd almost say it was more fortunate than it was unfortunate, because this is a big block going low for the 93, and it's simultaneously a move for passing that 66 car, who's still on the outside. Not a lot of help out there, none in fact. So this is side by side, not for the lead, but for the first position on the racetrack. But I was going to say about the 66. It's so close between the leaders. I'm trying to say that he only ended up going 1 lap down, whereas he might have gone 2 or 3 down had he been in the pits under green flag conditions. But we got a battle for the lead right here. Jared Polansky taking it back.
And William Brock's time as race leader has come to an end after leading 8 laps. His first laps led ever, as Jared Polansky retakes the lead and starts to pull away from the field once again. He wants to get as far away from Stephen Hunter as he possibly can to try and halt that win streak that Hunter has built up. Man, it would be quite the story if Hunter could pull off 4 in a row, because no one before him had ever managed to pull off 3 or even 2. No one in this series has ever pulled off consecutive wins aside from Stephen Hunter, and now he's going for 4 in a row.
Yeah, you know, and that's just absolutely impressive. And this is the type of track that Stephen Hunter is really good at. You know, he's running in 7th place right now, but don't ever count him out. He's always there at the end. We got a couple of pit stops left in this race. He's at a little bit of an advantage, we think, because he made a pit stop under that caution. So he's still in this thing for sure. And there goes the 66 trying to make a move to get into the 2nd position on the track. Not for 2nd place, but just behind the 18 car. He wants to unlap himself now that he's behind, and he's keeping up with the leaders really, really well.
They are coming up to lap Diego Yepes pretty soon in the 77. You can see he's well off the pace, 23 seconds back, and they will catch him sooner rather than later. My question is, who will it favor, as I believe we've got another yellow flag on the racetrack here. Yes, we do, and let's see, it looks like Brandon Beal and Kyle Vaughters are involved in this one, and it looks like it's just those 2 for the time being. So, caution on the circuit at lap 18, and that will trap J.D. Martin a lap down.
Gosh, he had just lost that position ahead of the leaders, too. What a shame for that 66 car, just absolutely unfortunate.
Wrong place, wrong time for J.D. Martin. Yep. He's stuck a lap down, and it looks like the whole field's going to come down and pit here. After 17 laps, 18 laps, this is a much more opportune time to pit for all these guys. And this was overall a huge net gain for William Brock, because he started deep in the field today, and now he's running 2nd at the pit stops.
Absolutely, and he's going to be caught up with the leader's strategy here, so everybody's going to be on the same strategy after this stop, and that's really good for William Brock. An excellent call to stay out under that first caution. Not that they could have known that there was another caution coming, but at least for now, that call looks like a really, really good call.
So, we will see what happens coming out of the pit lane for this round of pit stops. Brock has already exited, and Polansky will exit out ahead of him. It looks like McMillan will come out 3rd ahead of Bobo Jones, and Patrick Smith rounding out the top 5. Good stop from the 017 as they exited it in 5th. And we will find out what happened to Kyle Vaughters and Brandon Beal in the 2nd caution of the day on lap number 19 of 81. So this is where Kyle Waters was running in about 20th, and he's running with Nick Ortiz in the 91, coming up from a forced qualifying spot, and I think Ortiz just gets into him a little bit, up into the wall, and then I don't know where Brandon Beal gets his damage from. Maybe it was in a separate incident altogether. But overall, it was there you see Brandon Beal just finishing his incident. So I don't know if the incidents are related, but they're both definitely suffering damage here.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked like just both those cars came into each other going into that corner. Really, really fascinating.
This is where Brandon Beal was running, right at the back of the field alongside Joshua Michaels. And I wonder if the same situation is going to happen to Brandon Beal. I think Allison Rose, maybe in the 46, just gets into him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she sent it in pretty hard. And just like that, Brandon Beal gets turned around and into the wall. A tough break for the 37 B2B Motorsports entry, but that's just a product of hard racing, no matter what position you're running in.
Yeah, and both of those crashes were almost identical in the same corner. That's really fascinating to see. I can't even believe that happened. But here we look back up front, and the positions have not changed a lot. You see the 21 car in third place now. That's a good move from that crew to get up there into third place. We're gonna see. Are we gonna see that 66 car pull out this time, and he's gonna start on the bottom, I believe, right here. And we're gonna see. We saw what happened last time. That 66 car was just as fast as the leaders for the whole stint. So we're gonna see how that impacts everybody. Yep, there goes the 66 rolling up to the bottom, and Jared Polanski he's saying what the heck, because he's gonna be stuck on the outside of JD Martin there, and people are gonna pass him on the bottom. That's what I think is gonna happen. We'll see.
So what happened on the last restart? That's for sure. As they cycle up behind the pace car, the lights are out, so we will be going green this time with Bobo Jones running fourth behind his teammate William Brock in second, Jake McMillan third, Patrick Smith rounds out the top five, with Justin Hutchinson sixth, Stephen Hunter seventh, Jeffrey Finguy, Lane Sanders, Jerry Cook rounding out the top 10. As we're going to bring you to this restart, coming on lap 22 of 81. We're just passing 60 laps to go. Anything can still happen in this race. We've got a lot of racing left to go, a lot of pit stops still to happen. I just imagine if you've got tires waiting in the pit lane, smoke them if you got them, if a caution comes out.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. You definitely want to use those things up. You don't want to end this race with tires in the pits that you could have used in a bad finishing position to show for it. That's just that's part of it. We're gonna see what happens here. Maybe the 18 is gonna try to catch the 66 sleeping here. It's going to be very fascinating to see what happens, and if the 93 is able to jump down low and take the lead again. And it looks like the 66 got him good on the start. They're still side by side, and everybody's moving to the bottom. Back to the top, going to get a good entry into the corner. The 93 kissed the wall a little bit, it looked like, and it allows Jake McMillan in 21 to get low.
Patrick Smith also down there, and he might even make it 3 wide for second position, and there he goes down to the inside. A 3-wide battle for second between Smith, McMillan, and Brock, and he's going for more. He's going for the lead. Patrick Smith put the 07 to the top of the board.
My goodness, and they're 3 wide for second place with the 10 on the bottom. That third lane for the 18 car. I mean, nobody has been up there all day today. All day yesterday, nobody was up there either. And then here comes the 51 of Stephen Hunter on his inside. And that's just exactly what you'd expect here at Las Vegas for that 51 car to be in the battle, passing the 18 car after a crazy restart. And right now, the 66 again hoping for a caution, but Patrick Smith in first place, second on the track. Just an absolutely monster move on the restart. And here comes Jake McMillan trying to make it one position better for him.
McMillan making a move on the inside. That's for the lead. I'm not sure if McMillan's led yet this season. Actually,
I don't know.
So it's going to be I'll have to check our stats guy to see what we can draw from that. But McMillan's trying to go for a lead. He backs out of it a little bit there, and that's going to allow Hutchinson to get close up to him as well in that battle for second. And Smith starts to pull away a little.
No, so Jake McMillan has not led any laps this season. It says 0 next to next to his name in the lap sled column. So it will remain 0 for now, it seems. But having a really good run today in that 21 car for sure.
Hutchinson moving up into second place. He won this race a year ago. He wants to win it again for his first win of the season and the first for Finish Line Motorsports as well. It'll be. I'm just wondering if that 10 car has got enough pace. Okay, it looks like he's got plenty of pace under him right now as he's caught Patrick Smith, and he's going to try and go for the lead right here.
Yeah, and something interesting that I'm noticing is that J.D. Martin is pulling away from these guys. They're all racing for the lead so hard that he's just driving away with the clean air and no pressure from behind. So it's really interesting. If he can catch a yellow right here, he'll be right back in this race, I'm sure.
So going into turn 3 to complete lap 27, we've got Justin Hutchinson stalking Patrick Smith for the race leads, with Jake McMillan and Stephen Hunter stalking him, and Jerry Cooks made his way up into the top 5. So a good run from that 6 car, who only runs part-time in this series. He runs full-time in the Nitro National Series, but a good run for that 6 car, especially on a part-time basis, as they're coming up to lap J.D. Martin once again.
Yeah, J.D. Martin is just not able to hold off the leaders for much longer than about 5 laps after these restarts. Really, nobody wants to help him out or be right behind him. As I say that, I get proven wrong, but there's just nobody that wants to help him because he's not on the lead lap, of course. And then the 10 car just checked up in the middle of the corner big time. I mean, that was one of the bigger checkups we've seen. It allows J.D. Martin to get right ahead of him. And now Patrick Smith has a gap vehicle between him and second place.
Yes, Justin Hutchinson has Stephen Hunter breathing down his neck for the second position, and it looks like they're going to try and blow past J.D. Martin, but Hunter trying to get underneath, but now he has to back off in the middle of the corner. That's going to drop him behind a little bit, and that gives Hutchinson some breathing room. Try and get past J.D. Martin and hopefully chase down Patrick Smith, because we want to see a good battle for the lead for the entirety of this race.
Yeah, and I don't think that the 66 car is going to play super nice with the 07. I think as soon as he gets the chance to make the move, he's going to get it back up there. He knows what happened last time, and he wants to be ahead of these guys as long as he can, just in case there's a caution that comes out. So that's going to be a story until there's another caution and for the rest of this race if the 66 isn't able to get back on the lead lap. So that's just something to watch. Right now we've got a gap, and here comes, a big block from the 07. It's not for position, so I would not want to get wrecked racing for a position that is not a position. But, maybe Patrick Smith is willing to take that risk.
Just ask his teammate Sam Tenoda in the Nitro National Series. He's been wrecked twice by lap cars this season while battling for the lead or while leading the race. So the Carter Racing System team has had its fair share of experiences with lap traffic, as it looks like we've got another caution on the racetrack.
Oh my God.
With J.D. Martin going back a lap down, and big time damage for Ben McDonald, number 12.
Again?
You saw damage on Stephen Gale as well in the 35, as well as Ben McDonald. So McDonald has a lot of damage. I think they're going to try and fix it, but that's a lot of damage to try and fix on a single pit stop.
Yeah, this is so unfortunate. What a day from hell for the 12 car. I mean, wrecked on lap 1 and then wrecked again in lap 33. We're going to see what happened here. But another tough break for J.D. Martin in the 66. Stays out on the track.
Yeah, because he's a lap down now again. So he'll pit the next time around. But the leaders are coming in now. We'll find out if they're going to be able to fix this 12 car. I think they will be able to. With a lot of time and a lot of effort, Ben McDonald may yet see his race continue, despite all this damage on that race car.
Yeah, well, leaving the hood in the pits, but they're going back out there.
Without a front end, Ben McDonald returns to the race. Just shows the determination of that Vento Motorsports team to keep him out on the racetrack. Saw Richard Herman with a little bit of damage there as well. Patrick Smith exits the pits. He's free and clear. Justin Hutchinson. Jerry Polanski's gonna have a slow stop. Look at all the cars that are passing him. Jake McMillan also with a slow stop. Finally, Polanski exits the pit very far behind, and now McMillan exits as well. That's just very tough for all those guys that were in that accident.
This caution is really shaking up the order of this race right now. We're going to see what happens real soon here, as soon as we get the replay of it up. It's coming up soon.
So this is where Stephen Gale was. He was running about 22nd when this happened. And here comes Roberto Crone Jr. I think he made the same mistake he made in the Nitro National Series race. He got in too deep, just gets into the 35, and then the 12 and the 53 with nowhere to go, they just get piled in as victims of this one. So I think Stephen Gale's day is done, but Ben McDonald and Richard Herman are able to continue after that impact. That's a tough break for all of them, but they'll be able to regroup and recover, moving on to Texas next week. We're on board now with Ben McDonald. You can see the accident starting up ahead, and just
nowhere to go.
Can barely even see where the damage was. Yep, McDonald just nowhere to go. He's continuing on in this race despite all this. Very good effort from that team to repair the damage. But man, that's a hard impact for somebody who managed to stay in the race. A lesser team would have retired from the race right there and then.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree. You know, that's just a really, really unfortunate break for that 12 car. It's not a race that they'll want to think about for much longer. He's gonna pull down and be right next to these guys.
And ahead of JD Martin.
Yeah,
so that will not help the 66's efforts to get back on the lead line. Because remember, you are not allowed to pass on the left-hand side before you get to the start-finish line. So that is going to be a tough hurdle for that 66 car to get over as he tries to get around that 12 car on the restart.
Yeah, he's going to be held up behind. I can't imagine that 12 car is going to get much of a good restart at all. I really can't imagine that car going anywhere near the pace of the leaders like the 66 was. So unfortunately, that caution really hurt the 66 car's effort today. We'll see. Yep, here he comes right now, rolling up into second place, and he sees that very weakened 12 car ahead of him and is probably shaking his head thinking, boy, oh boy, one more position on the track and he would have been on the lead lap, but just wasn't his day today. That's all I can say about that.
And barring another yellow flag, they will have to. This will be a one-stop race from here on out because everybody can make it on one more pit stop if the race stays green the rest of the way. So that being said, Patrick Smith leads the field around turns 3 and 4, waiting for the pace car to pull on the pit road, and we're going to get ready to restart the race on lap 37.
Yeah, here we go. The pace car is about to come in to the pit road, and Patrick Smith is going to lead the way, and we think that he's going to get a big jump on the inside lane, and the whole outside lane is going to go. Yep, there it is. A huge jump. The 12 car just does not have the power. The 66 is still going to be stuck behind. And they're going to go 3 wide.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go 3 wide. Finn guy squeezes through the middle to take the 4th spot from Jerry Cook in the 6th. So good run from Jeffrey Finga to make that move. But now Ben McDonald's holding up everybody. Kevin Carter's back there. William Brock's back there. And then now McDonald's just holding up that outside line with Cody Goforth back there, I think. Man, Cody Goforth restarted in 10th. He was having a really good run up until this point.
Yeah, it was inevitable that was going to happen. Really unfortunate that it did. And as we're cycling back the camera through the leader, it's still Patrick Smith out there and Stephen Hunter making a move for second place. We know the storylines around that 51 car. That Toyota is going for 4 in a row today, and it's just getting closer and closer for Stephen Hunter. He's going to be tough to beat if he gets out front.
It's only 1 spot away from taking the lead and the win if he can hold on for it that long. As Stephen Hunter now cements himself in the second place, now he goes to chase after the rookie in the 07, trying to take the lead for the first time today, as they battle side by side for third behind, with Jeffrey Finguy and Justin Hutchinson battling it out.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody that I'd rather see, or I can't think of anybody that I'd like to see less than Stephen Hunter in my mirror, because that car, when that car is in your mirror, he's going to end up out your windshield soon enough. So this, especially at Las Vegas, it's just his type of track that he prevails on here. And Patrick Smith doing a good job so far. We're going to see what happens down the front stretch. Immediately, the 51 jumps low, and he's going to try to block, but he's got a side draft on him. Oh boy, this is going into 151's got a nose. side by side coming through the corner. We'll see if the 07 can get a run off the outside.
It looks
He's going
like
to get
they'll
help
stay
from behind.
side by side coming down the back straightaway, and it looks like they'll both have help coming through 3 and 4. It's just a matter of who gets a bigger push. It looks like the 51 is going to get help from Hutchinson and Molina. So put Stephen Hunter back in the lead for the first time today on lap 42. He just passed halfway, and Stephen Hunter is back in the lead, going for 4 wins in a row.
Yeah, and of course he's just going to drive away from all these guys. Boy, oh boy, what a story this is. The 51 car just unstoppable this season so far. But, you know, there's a lot of hungry drivers sitting there right behind him. They're still in the draft. So this race, again, another pit stop is incoming. Lots of laps remaining, just less than half of the race, in fact. So this thing is not over by any means. The 51 car cannot relax.
Yes, and that pit stop should come at about laps 60 to 63. So about 20 laps from now, and with 20 laps to go, we should expect to see the cars on pit road for the final time, as Stephen Hunter leads them across the line with a 0.4 of a second lead, the biggest lead, I believe, we've seen all race long. It just goes to show the strength of Stephen Hunter.
I agree, you know, and as soon as he took the lead, they were side by side behind him, and the 10 car had to check up in the middle of the corner. That kept them side by side for a lot longer, so they really fell back quite a bit there, but they're back in the draft. They're trying to catch back up, you know.
Yeah, don't look now, but here comes Patrick Smith. He's gained 0.2 off that lead, and he's coming back at him. Hunter's got, by no means has this race in the bag, as we've often seen, because Hunter's got Smith behind him, he's got Hutchinson, he's got Molina back there. Molina wants redemption after Monza, that drag race to the stripe where Hunter beat him out there. So Molina's looking for some redemption. Patrick Smith's just looking for his first career win, as is Molina. Hutchinson wants to win this race for the 2nd year running. And Jeffrey Finguy just wants win number 2 of the season and win number 3 of his career. He wants his first win on a 1.5 miles. But right now, they've all got to chase down Stephen Hunter and pass him. But they're going side by side as they come up to lap Ben McDonald.
Oh, no!
Almost contact there between McDonald and Hunter. So Hunter's got to be really careful about making those passes from now on. He really needs to work on finding the right time to make those moves. As now Patrick Smith gets held up a lot by Ben McDonald. He's now going to drop off the lead pack and into the clutches of his teammate Kevin Carter in the 70 and William Brock.
Yeah, that's just devastating. That, I mean, there's that team always ends up on the short end of the stick with the lap cars coming by. I mean, that's just really unfortunate. But now this front group has been reduced to, well, they're not really that close to each other anymore. It's just the 51. The 10 is right there with him, but behind him, we got the 71 and 92. I mean, you know, they're just going to catch up here. It's about 4, maybe going to be 5 cars here racing for the lead. So we'll see if anybody can beat Stephen Hunter here. But Patrick Smith, what a tough break.
Keep in mind, they are going to lap Diego Yepes again when they get to him. He's a little ways ahead of these guys. Hutchinson doesn't want to wait that long, though. He wants to make the move now, and he's going to try and make that move on Stephen Hunter. He just can't quite get there that time, but he's right in the position he needs to be in. Coming off of turn 4 in the draft, right behind him, and starting to pull away a little bit, but don't count him out yet.
No, for sure. You know, it's going to be a situation of who gets the better pit stop, really. You know, they're racing really hard right now for these positions, and it's of course because they want to be up there in the lead pack when they make that pit stop. But you know, right now, these positions are just part of where they're racing. So it's going to be interesting to see when they pit, where they come out of the pits, and that's going to determine who really wins this race.
So, with Stephen Hunter and Justin Hutchinson enjoying their lead out front over Andres Molina, Jeffrey Finguy, and Jerry Cook, the 51 is trying to extend his lead over the 10. I'm just not sure if he'll be able to with the draft playing a factor at this wide-open racetrack here at Las Vegas. Yeah. We're coming to 30 laps to go, and Stephen Hunter's still got a pretty nice lead. Hutchinson's not breathing down his neck right now. He's got a bit of a gap of about a car length and a half. So Hutchinson needs to hustle it a little bit if he wants to gain on this 51 end.
Yeah, you said 30 laps to go, and I'm feeling like this race just got started a little bit ago. I mean, time flies when you're having fun, and time flies when you're going 200 mile an hour around Las Vegas Motor Speedway wide open. This has been some fantastic racing so far, and we're getting geared up for a fantastic finish yet again.
Andres Molina running in third, trying to seek redemption on Stephen Hunter, but here comes Hutchinson. He's going to try and take it first, and he actually gets underneath Stephen Hunter. Here they come to lap Diego. There's Diego Yepes in the 77. So, will Hunter be held up a little bit? Hutchinson comes down, Yepes comes up to block, and Hunter will be the one left out to dry as Justin Hutchinson takes the lead back on lap 54. Now Stephen Hunter's the odd man out, stuck behind Diego Yepes. That is just tough luck for Stephen Hunter, whose hopes of winning 4 in a row have just gotten a lot harder.
Yeah, he was lucky enough to get around that lapper. He's still stuck, or he's still in the draft here, so that's going to really help the 51 car. The others were not able to keep the draft after they got stuck behind Ben McDonald, who's going significantly slower, might I add, than that Diego Yepes that just went back through the field. So look at that, Stephen Hunter's already back at it, trying to pass people. So yeah, he's fine. He'll get back up there. He's going to be a factor for sure.
He'll still be a factor when this is all said and done, because we've got a lot of really strong cars still in contention in this race. We've got Justin Hutchinson up there, Stephen Hunter, Jeffrey Finguy. It's like a who's who of all-time greats in the One-Up Superstar Series. And you got Andres Molina, too, a phenomenal road course racer, but still trying to prove himself on ovals. He's got 2 top 10s on such tracks this season, so he's starting to mature into a well-rounded driver, and he's running in second right now, so good run from that 71 on a track that he's not very familiar with.
Yeah, it's an excellent run, really, for the 71 car. And absolutely, he's in contention for the win today. He's running in second place right now. He's been up there for the whole race. So, really good for the 71 car to just...
here they come to lap Ben McDonald again.
Yep.
And it looks like they'll be able to go around the outside.
Oh, Stephen Hunter, watch out!
Oh, this might not end well for Stephen Hunter as Jerry Cook gets past. And now Stephen Hunter's hopes of getting 4 in a row might just have gotten even more hard to accomplish, because now he's falling off at an alarming rate. Now he finally gets to the inside and past Ben McDonald. Remember, we still have a pit stop to go in this race, so still not out of it. He can still come back. It's just going to be a lot harder to get win number 4 of the season.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to be pretty far gone. He's he's just less than a second behind the 6 car, so I guess we'll see if he's able to get the draft and maybe push the 6 car back.
And there's more lap traffic. Here's Brandon Beal in the 37.
Ooh, and he's going to... Wow, that was really close. He almost dropped down right in front of the 10 car, our leader. And that could have been really dangerous. It could have been a big high-speed crash right there.
That might have just helped Stephen Hunter catch back up a little bit. You can see he's now gained a good amount of time on the front runners. So now Hunter's just got to focus, got to run some qualifying laps now to try and get back up in contention to win this race.
Yeah, and this is looking pretty far back in the top 10 here, but I do want to mention that Jared Polanski, who led a lot of this race in the beginning, had a bad pit stop. He's back up to 9th place, so that's a really good run for that 18 car to be able to make it back up through there. He's more than 4.5 seconds behind the leaders right now. He's probably going to need a caution to help him out getting back up there, but really good recovery for the 18 car.
And the Kings Motorsports contingent now has 2 cars in the top 10, with Molina in 2nd and Polanski in 9th. Yep. But it's Finish Line Motorsports and Justin Hutchinson out in front of the field as we cross 20 laps to go.
Yeah, so I see Stephen Hunter in the back of the frame there. He is pushing that 6 car right now. They're really trying to catch up here, and they're going to go side by side for 2nd place, it looks like. So that's going to help those behind. We're going to see if they're still side-by-side. We're just watching the 10 car at the moment. They're not still side-by-side, but it looks like the 6 car has the draft. So Stephen Hunter, yet again, not out of this race after some tough trouble with the... Oh, he's...
On pit road. He's attempting an undercut, is Stephen Hunter, for his final pit stop. He really wants to get an advantage on these guys, and he's willing to do whatever it takes. to get that 4th win in a row, and he's going to try something very risky in this undercut move. But here comes the rest of the field a lap later. Aside from Jerry Cook, he stays out to get his first lap led in the Superstar Series. Good run from that 6 car to get a lap led. And Kevin Carter's going to stay out a little bit. Patrick Smith's going to stay out. Daniel Bouchard, Roberto Curran Jr., a couple cars are going to stay out, including these two, Fitzwater and Sanders, battling it out for what is now the 6th position on track. Michael McCuskey right behind them. And it looks like Diego Yepes, he's obviously behind a little bit. Arthur Xavier stayed out. And that's it, I think. Everybody else pitted that lap, and here they all come. And it looks like Hutchinson and Molina are 1-1 as far as their pit stops. These two are going to be really close coming out of the pits.
Looks like maybe this... Oh, they're going to come out right with each other. And the 92 is going to be close right behind them as well. And we're going to have to watch to see where the 51 of Stephen Hunter is, because that's really the big story of this race. We keep on talking about him, but we know that that car is going to be in contention for this race. So we're watching the 10 car, who was the leader, but we're also trying to see where the 51 is going to come out of the pits. I haven't seen him yet. Looks like Nate, unless he's really far ahead, maybe he...
There he is.
Here he comes.
He's coming up on Jeffrey Finguy. He might be able to get past him, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get past Hutchinson or Molina.
No.
Hunter did gain a couple spots by doing this. He gained 2 spots, actually, by pitting early. And as they pass Kevin Carter for the lead, Justin Hutchinson. Ooh, but Jerry Cook's going to come back up on the racetrack. And wow, that was a good run from Jerry Cook. He now gains 2 spots to run in 3rd.
Yeah, that's going to be really good for that 6 car. I mean, what a pit stop. He must have had a really good in and out lap. You know, everybody other than the 51 had a really congested pit road when they pitted, so that could have played a factor into how fast you were coming down pit road and getting out of pit road. So right now the 10 car is still in the lead with Molina behind in the 71. And we're going to see how this goes, if anybody's going to be able to draft up to these two, or if it's going to be fought out between these two for the win.
So Hutchinson's still your leader, Molina in 2nd, Jerry Cook now in 3rd, but Stephen Hunter's right behind him, and I have a feeling that 51 car is going to be back in front before long. He's just got too good of a race car. But here comes Molina trying to take the lead for himself. He wants to take the lead of this race, and here he comes to the inside of Justin Hutchinson. We're coming to 15 laps to go, and Andres Molina is going to try and take the lead of this race. It's going to be close at the line. I think Hutchinson still got him there. But Molina's putting up a valiant charge here.
Absolutely. You know, and this side-by-side racing is exactly what everybody in behind them wants to see when they are... See, here's the 51, and he's catching right up to these guys. See, it's not over yet. We got the 51, the 92, and the 6. They're all in the draft right here, and they're all going to be part of this battle before long.
With now on lap 69 of 81, Justin Hutchinson falls back to 2nd. Andres Molina, your new race leader, trying to get his first career win. Imagine if it came out an oval instead of what his bread and butter road courses. That would be quite a story if he managed to pull that out. Plus, it would lock him into the All-Star race coming up in a few weeks'
Yes,
time.
it would.
A first career win would do that for any of these guys.
This is really fascinating to see, because the 51 car is caught right back up to these guys, and he's making a move for 2nd place on Justin Hutchinson.
But he backs out.
He's going to have to back off.
Yeah, he's going to have to back off, but you still got 12 laps to go, and they're coming up to lap Ben McDonald once again. Oh, and that was definitely contact with Andres Molina. He is very lucky to get away with that. That was a very close escape there for Andres Molina, but it did gain him a few spots, but there's more lap traffic ahead of them. It looks like Richard Herman. I think Ricky Freeman Jr. is there as well.
Bunch of damaged cars.
Yeah, there's Richard Herman. And then Kyle Vaughters is up there, Ricky Freeman Jr., like I said. So Andres Molina has to pick his way through these guys very, very carefully. Much more carefully than he did getting past that 12 car. Because, man, that was close.
Out! Wow!
That was a block and a half. But here comes Justin Hutchinson from behind trying to close in. 10 laps to go in this race.
This is insane right now, because the 71 is stuck behind these lappers. They're going to go to the bottom here. Hopefully they all follow. Looks like Justin Hutchinson barely squeezes in to a hole that might not have been there a second later. Boy, oh boy, these guys really are being dangerous right now, and it looks like just... Wow, it's so... It's such a close call. Oh, Molina is going to be stuck on the outside here, despite the. Well, I don't know because the 10 car really just checked up right there. This is some fascinating racing here. You never know what's going to happen next with the lappers, because right now the momentum is going to be on the outside lane because the lappers are on the inside, but Justin Hutchinson is going to be able to pass him here, and now Molina's in the sucker spot because he's stuck behind him.
And that's brought Jeffrey Finguy into the battle as well. He's now up to 4.
Gosh.
So this is now a 4-car battle. Jerry Cook's back there. He could get back into the mix. But now Stephen Hunter, he's got 1 car between him and victory, and it's Justin Hutchinson who won this race a year ago. Hutchinson trying to win 2 in a row at this track. Hunter trying to win 4 in a row in general. And now they're coming to start.
Whoa!
That was close. Coming to start lap 75. And man, this has been a close race. Ooh, and there was almost contact between Finguy and Hunter for second place. Hutchinson starts to pull away a little bit, but here comes Stephen Hunter on the charge. They're coming up to lap Zachary Fitzwater. That might not be for a little while though. So it's anybody's guess what's gonna happen in these final few laps. We're coming up to 5 or 6 laps to go. This race is electrifying from start to finish.
I do not know how Stephen Hunter was able to stay in second place, and even he's making a move for the lead, and it's close. It's not going to work, but I don't know how he was able to stay in second place through all of those cars racing with each other on the
Here he
lap
comes,
down.
Hunter going underneath Hutchinson for the lead for 4 wins in a row. Stephen Hunter has the line. He's got the momentum off the bottom, coming off of 4. This is going to be really close at the line. I think Hutchinson will get him at the line there, but Stephen Hunter has the momentum, he's got the preferred line, and he just sails past the 10 into the lead with 5 laps to go. Is Stephen Hunter going for 4 in a row?
Now, the last time was the first time.
No, here comes Diego Yepes in the 77. This could spell trouble. Stephen Hunter's got to get around him really quickly here. Hunter around the outside, and
he gets put in the wall.
Stephen Hunter's hopes at 4 in a row have just gone down the drain. A horrible shot for Stephen Hunter into the outside wall, skidding down the racetrack and in broadsiding into harm's way.
Oh my!
Joshua Michaels T-bones the 51, and he's still in harm's way on broadside on the racetrack, and there goes Arthur Xavier piling in, and the caution flag has come out. This will end the race. There's only 4 laps of racing to go, and there is definitely not going to be enough time to finish this one under green. Justin Hutchinson's going to take the win, the 3rd of his career and his 1st of the season, but man, a series of horrendous impacts from Stephen Hunter, who was going for 4 in a row. That is not going to happen. And man, that was just a hard hits all around for everybody involved in this.
I haven't seen something like that for a long time. I really hope that Stephen Hunter is all right after those impacts. I mean, when you crash once, your car becomes a little bit less safe than it is when it's fully together. So then he got hit 2 more times. That really makes me nervous. I really hate to see a race end like that, but yeah.
Coming through 3 and 4, Hunter had the momentum around the outside. He had a fender on Diego Yepes, but he just wasn't clear. And then Hunter, he could have gotten away with this had Kyle Vaughters not been right there and just sent him upside down on top of the safer barrier, sliding down the racetrack, and just nowhere for Joshua Michaels to go. He spears into the 51, and then as Yepes tries to slow down, Xavier gets tagged. He gets sent into a spin, and then he gets into the 51. Oh my goodness! We'll have word on Stephen Hunter in a short while, but this race has just taken a dark turn. We are on board now with Stephen Hunter. He comes up right into the path of Yepes. No one's fault there. It was just a racing deal. Oh, and then Vaughters hits him right there. He slides on top of the wall. And he's just sitting there, an innocent bystander. And then Michaels just plows him. Thankfully, it was on the right-hand side where he got hit there instead of a driver's side door impact. But then Xavier hits him there. A little bit of a shallower impact, but that was still a heavy, heavy series of hits for Stephen Hunter. One final angle. You can see it off in the distance. Hunter just gets clobbered by Vaughters. He gets rolled up into the outside wall. Comes down and just parks broadside on the track. Nowhere Joshua Michaels could have gone. He just plows straight into the 51. And from there on, Yepes is just slow, and then that just triggers a chain reaction behind him, and that sends Xavier into a spin, and he'll get into Hunter. A dark day here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We'll get you updates on Stephen Hunter when they're available to us, but this race will not restart. It will end under the yellow flag, and Justin Hutchinson will get his first win of 2021, but this is not going to be a win worth celebrating very much in that Finish Line Motorsports camp, but we'll see what happens. Texas Motor Speedway is still a week away. We'll see what happens then, but this is just a dark feeling here.
Yeah, so for now, it's Justin Hutchinson. He's going to win this race here. It's the final lap under caution. He did have a really good day going before the accident there. You know, he led a lot of laps. He was ahead for a lot of the time. And then we've got the 92 car just behind. A really good run for them. Molina is going to have a really good run in the top 3 here on an oval. That's going to be a positive result for them, at least. And then the 6 car, we've been talking about him just, you know, having a really good day today, part-time. So, you know, a couple of good results here to think about right now, but it's hard to think about. It's hard to think about the winners and of the race after something like that.
So Kevin Carter will come across the line in 5th position. He gets his first top 5 at Las Vegas. William Brock gets his first career top 10 in his Superstar Series career, coming home 6th ahead of Jared Polansky. A nice recovery from him to come across 7th. Patrick Smith faded to 8th at the end ahead of Daniel Bouchard, who gets his first top 10 of 2021. And Nick Ortiz, a nice recovery drive from the 91 to round out the top 10. As the checkered flag flies, Justin Hutchinson is your race winner. But man, the race just changed with 5 laps to go. And Stephen Hunter, who was 5 laps away from getting his 4th consecutive win, is now on the back of an ambulance, and no word yet. We'll get you word when we hear any. But Stephen Hunter will not get 4 in a row, but that's the last thing on the Revolution Racing team's mind, as even Christian Vargas coming home 11th will not be will be an afterthought in this race, as now they had to attend to their star driver, who is now out of the car on the ambulance. We'll get you word of what happens. There'll likely be a release shortly following this race, but it's just hard. It's just hard to cope with after an incident like this. Las Vegas has seen its share of trouble before. Think back to 2011. When the IndyCars came here, it was a tough day then. It's a tough day now. These cars are a lot safer though,
of course, you know,
open wheel
with the closed cockpit,
and closed fenders as well. So I don't think we'll have any issues on that level. But Stephen Hunter's now focused less on his title defense and more on just getting back in a race car.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and this, I mean, unfortunately with racing like this at high speeds and going so quickly around this track, and there's not a lot of lifting time, something like that is bound to happen. And when you're passing cars that are just so much slower, that are in the way all of the time, there's not a lot of room. You know, they were both coming up out of the corner. I have no idea what happened there, if they got loose. I'm not sure why Stephen Hunter went to the outside there. You know, normally you wouldn't try to make that pass on the outside, so maybe it was just an unexpected move and they weren't sure what was going on there. But it's tough to watch, you know, somebody who's leading this race trying to extend their record, and then all of a sudden upside down facing the wall, have no idea what's going on. It just really a tough ending to this race.
So from Duke and Zach, and from myself as well, we say goodbye from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Congrats to Justin Hutchinson on the win, but our thoughts right now are with Stephen Hunter